Hello everyone, welcome to your lecture on gender and social inequality. This lecture is a part of your paper on gender, media and society. This lecture will help you understand the different forms of gender discriminations observed in our society with special reference to India. Gender is often equated with sex as in male and female. However, gender has different constructs other than mere sex-based identity. According to a definition given by FAO, gender is the relations between men and women, both perceptual and material. Gender is not determined biologically as a result of sexual characteristics of either women or men, but is constructed socially. It is a central organizing principle of societies and often governs the processes of production and reproduction, consumption and distribution, as observed by FAO in 1997. This definition attempts to deconstruct the idea of gender as sex and is also stating that it is not merely a biological phenomenon, rather gender is constructed socially and it plays an important role in the overall proceedings of the society irrespective of the happenings. The Oxford Dictionary defines gender as either of the two sexes, male or female, especially when considered with reference differences rather than biological to social and cultural ones. The term is also used more broadly to denote a range of identities that do not correspond to established ideas of male and female. This definition of gender is also justifying the idea that gender is not about how one is biologically constructed, rather it is about how society is forming it basing on two perspectives, that is male and female. This definition is also trying to justify that the role of gender is not limited only from male or female perspective, but it also helps in establishing identities which does exist simultaneously with male and female perspectives. How a society views gender and engages with gender issues is one of the key factors that determine the nature and status of that society. The concept sociology of gender is subfield within the broader purview of sociology and research, which tries to interrogate the social construction of gender and how gender takes part in the social transactions and happenings taking place in the society and how it interacts with other social forces and relates with the overall social structure as observed by Crossman in 2017. According to the conventional meaning of gender justified by Rachel T. Hare, Mastin and Jean Marisek in their research paper titled The Meaning of Difference, Gender Theory, Postmodernism and Psychology, is that gender typically focuses on the differences which is existing between male and female, which is referring to the discourses which are ongoing in nature, that how women are being different from men and how those differentiated norms are being used to support the male superiority. Susan Gale provides another perspective of gender in her essay titled Language, Gender and Power in an edited book by Kira Hall and Mary Buchholz titled Gender Articulated Language and the Socially Constructed Self. She justifies the notion of gender bit differently from another frame of reference. According to her analogy, all feminist scholarship gives an often remedial focus on women and their roles and stereotypes, which has been replaced by a more sophisticated notion of gender as a system of relationships among women and men. It is often seen as a tool to sexual division of labor, a set of symbolic images and few contrasting possibilities of expression for women and men. This complex feministic approach to deconstruct the idea of gender and how this term is being understood in our society given by Susan Gale is much justified and accepted, as it is giving a holistic and broad frame of reference to decode the idea of gender. This lecture will focus on the different forms of gender discriminations observed in our society with special reference to India. It will also attempt to see how society is engaging with these inequalities, what are the forces counteracting the inequalities, and how far are they been successful in containing it. In Sociology of Gender, Ashley Grossman tries to decode the different angles of justification for gender inequalities given in different time frames on the broader purview of gender and society. Basing on his exploration during the 20th century, the functionalist theorist argues that men in our society fills the instrumental roles, and while women fill the expressive roles, which works in order to benefit the society in the long run. The group of functionalist views gender division of labor as it will help in smooth functioning of the society which is modern and where it is evident to have an amicable relationship status between men and women for the betterment of the society. But later, this idea of the functionalists was countered as this perspective of gender and society was driving towards the gender inequality by forcing and promoting both men and their rights to choose different choices about family, work, life, etc. One of the popular and contemporary approach to understand and deconstruct the idea of gender and society within the broader phenomenon of sociology of gender is strongly influenced by symbolic interactionism theory proposed by George Herbert Mead in 1920, and the group of symbolic integrationist focuses on the micro level everyday interactions which helps in producing and challenging gender and society as we claim to know it. Two such sociologists, namely West and Zimmerman, popularized this notion in their article titled Doing Gender wrote in 1987. However, their ideas were contested later. Before heading to understand what gender-based social inequalities are, it is important to understand what social inequalities are and how this came into force and still persist in the contemporary world. There have been attempts to justify this very idea of social inequality as a state of affairs where an individual or a group of individuals are deprived of certain privileges or vice versa. An individual or group of individuals are given certain privileges. In his research article titled "What is Social Inequality?", Robert M. Blackburn, published in International Journal of Sociology and Social Policy in 2008, attempted to argue that existence of inequality depends on socially recognized difference. The difference may often be simply a basis for socially imposed inequalities, as with ethnicity and gender, or it may be a real cause of inequality, as with health differences. 9 important interrelated bases of inequality are considered. Equality does not require zero inequality on all aspects, but merely a balance of inequalities. The idea of social inequality varies from one country to another, same as with one society to the other, based on the different societal artifacts and elements. For Robert M. Blackburn, inequality mostly very much visible when it comes to social and economic aspects. As there are different prices for different groups of individuals, he justified this idea by referring to the example of pricing of goods made in the poorer countries for sale in the affluent ones, since the labor cost is very low. Only a tiny proportion of the total selling price goes to the workers who used to make the goods to be sold in the affluent markets at a much higher cost. In another concept note titled "The Past, Present and Future of Social Inequality" by David B. Grusky, it has been discussed thoroughly about the major conceptions relatable to social inequality and what are the main elements which promotes this idea of social inequality, like social stratification, individual psychology and socio-economic barriers, etc. According to the concept note writer, in the advanced world where we talk of massive development projects which will bring major transformation to the human society and will bring equality to the socio-economic sphere, have somehow directed against the social equality, and despite such transformative actions and measures, there are major inequalities which are present in our society, like poverty for example. He was focused on one factor which promotes social inequalities, and it is social stratification systems, which refers to the segregation of group of individuals or communities based on certain criteria that will define or draw the line between what is good or bad per se. This stratification method also recommends the idea of division of labor and which individual or community should get engaged in which types of labor. So, through this it is evident to say that in some way down the line the idea of social stratification is promoting social as well as economic inequalities. Types of social inequalities. Social inequality is a meta concept and is as old as the human society itself. There are evidences that the idea of social stratification was there and that promoted division of labor among the communities. With that, certain group of individuals or say community faced social inequality. Social inequalities are also of different kinds and forms. Political inequality, which refers to the situation where an individual or a group of individuals do not get the civic equality in the court of law. The individual or the groups of individuals do not get the privileges of civic equality, which include the different rights and other freedoms. Income and wealth economic inequality. It is related to the outcome results of an individual from his or her work. Sometimes the individual does not get the right kind of financial return, compensation for the work which he or she actually does. Life inequality. This is a kind of inequality in which an individual is either not getting or being denied the scope or opportunity to improve his or her quality of life. Inequality of treatment and responsibility. This kind of inequality refers to that an individual does not get the right kind of treatment which he or she actually deserves. This kind of inequality occurs when an individual or a group of individuals are being ignored and when their works are being properly examined, etc. Inequality of membership. This is the kind of inequality where the faith and trust factor comes into play, and this happens when a family, state or nation does not want to rely upon an individual or a group of individuals for giving any responsibility or disseminating any kind of information. Gender-based social inequalities in the Indian context. Gender inequality or discrimination in India is an age-old bane. Its genesis probably goes back to the ancient history of the country. It could also have originated from the then felt problems and social situations, and then gradually it could have been made into a norm, and then with time, customs, and then part of culture. Vested interest of patriarchy and capitalism then attempt to perpetuate it by making it part of religious rituals or diktats, thereby sanctifying it. In many societies and communities in India, gender comes into play when it comes to assigning certain and particular role and responsibility to an individual or a group of individuals. In a patriarchal society, as in most of the communities in India, men decide what role a woman ought to play. Sociologist Sylvia Wolby says, patriarchy is a system of social structure and practices in which men dominate, oppress and exploit women. In patriarchal system, it is the men who enjoys most of the privileges which women are also expected to enjoy. This kind of social phenomena and system often lead to gender-based social inequalities. This system of patriarchy has its validity and impositions in Indian religious belief systems irrespective of Hindu, Muslim or any other religion per se. Men often masquerade their decisions as religious or social norm and make it mandatory for all members of the community to respect and obey the norms. Gender-based discrimination in India takes place in different forms like decreased access to food, healthcare, education, and freedom to make choices. Its manifestations are early marriage, dowry, different rituals and customs that hold women homebound. The discrimination results in wide gaps in education, health, and income between the men and women population. In the latest Global Gender Gap Index compiled by Geneva-based World Economic Forum, India was ranked 108th on the annual Global Gender Gap Index and ranked 125 out of 159 countries in the Gender Inequality Index. Since it has been discussed about how this social discrimination takes place in a society, and those same elements like social stratification, social class hierarchy, class division, division of labor, these are also the same key elements which promotes gender-based inequalities in India. The gender-based discrimination results in perpetuating the weak state and status of discriminated gender. This means that particular gender becomes less acceptable in a family or society. That is why one finds boy preferences in many communities in India, especially in northern parts of Indian states. A boy is born into a family, the family rejoices. A girl is born, the family mourns. As the boy is seen as a boon who will earn for the family, look after the parents at their old age, the girl is seen as a burden who has to be quote unquote protected till her marriage and who will have to be given fat dowry during marriage. There have been changes in the Indian societies and things have improved, but gender-based inequalities and gender-based discriminations still persist. The sex ratio is still skewed, though it has improved from 933 females per thousand males in 2001 census to 940 females per thousand males in 2011 census. The female literacy rate as per 2011 census was around 65.4% as against 82.41% male literacy. It has definitely improved from 8.86% for female and 27.16% in male in 1951. Gender pay gap is still appalling. For the year 2013, the gender pay gap in India was estimated to be 24.81%. While analyzing the level of female participation in the economy, World Economic Forum report slots India as one of the bottom 10 countries on its list. Thus, in addition to unequal pay, there is also unequal representation because while women constitute almost half the Indian population, about 48% of the total, their representation in the workforce amounts to only about 1/4 of the total. However, the silver lining is things have started improving with both push and pull factors operating. Government initiatives to promote gender equality by providing opportunities to the disadvantaged and discriminated work as pull factors, and also laws against dowry, domestic violence, sexual harassments work as the push factors. As more and more women come up the social and economic ladder, things further improve. Conclusion. Summing up this lecture, we learn that gender-based social inequalities offer privileges to one section of the society, whereas the other sections of the society will remain underprivileged and often ignored. Special privileges to a particular group of individuals will ensure the other remains poorer, uneducated and unemployed, etc. When it comes to gender-based inequality in India, it is more often treated that women are subjugated and underprivileged. There have been a number of measures and steps in various forms and forums are being taken to tackle this social epidemic of gender-based social inequalities. Due to these gender-based social inequalities, a section of the society, more particularly women, remain always powerless and marginalized because they are considered to be ineffective in different facets of life, may it be economic or social or political. Because of all these impulsions and egalitarian approach of the society, the place of underprivileged or gender-based discriminated section remain affected in society, and that section of socially excluded group of people have to go through harsh conditions of the society. To minimize and deal with gender-based social inequalities, efforts have to come from various institutions and of course individuals. Gender equality should find place in individual's mind first and then in individual's family. Society eventually follows what individuals collectively wish for. Hope you enjoyed the lecture. For more details, please read the e-text of this lecture properly and attempt the questions in the end. Thank you.